In the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, we will finally face the return of the eternal King of Evil, the Lord of Darkness, and the true heir to the Gerudo throne, Ganondorf Dragmire. Now, although we see Ganondorf in a state unlike that of a mummy or a shriveled corpse, many of us Zelda fans believe that he will return in a state of pristine condition, and many of those fans took an extra step to show us what he could look like. Considering all of that, Ganondorf's return has many Zelda fans delighted and in a frenzy on how he will be portrayed this time around in the latest Zelda game. However, something that is huge that must be looked at is how exactly will Ganondorf, the human side of the Calamity Ganon, affect the realm of Hyrule upon his true return. While on the surface level, it may seem like, oh, Ganondorf is back and we just have to face him and save the princess just like in any other game. No big deal. Well, I assure you, the return of Ganondorf at this point in Hyrule's history will have more repercussions than you think and will be the most pivotal we've seen in a Zelda game in years. Hey everyone, it's HMK, and it's time to tackle exactly how Ganondorf's long overdue return will affect the new world of Hyrule. As always, for the safety of hype, I'm gonna need you to strap on in. This is gonna be wild, Breath of the Wild. And to help drive this home, I've got a friend along for the ride, Commonwealth Realm. Alright, let's jump right into the darkness. Ganondorf, for the first time in over 10 years, will make an appearance in a mainline Zelda game in Breath of the Wild 2, with his last true appearance in Twilight Princess. While it has been that long for us, it has been much longer for the people of Hyrule within its history. While tales are told about the Calamity Ganon that has plagued Hyrule time and time again in legend, the Malice Incarnate has shown its maw to Hyrule some 10,000 years before the prologue of Breath of the Wild, and again during its return, where it devastated Hyrule. However, these occurrences are only that of the Calamity Ganon, not truly Ganondorf, which we know now whose body lies somewhere deep below Hyrule. With his true physical form awakening, marking his return, the chain reaction that Hyrule and its inhabitants will be catastrophic, because the realm will not be facing a beast, but a man.
While aspects of existence as the King of Evil still linger in the footnotes of history, the truth of his defeat and his predicament seen in the Breath of the Wild 2 is a complete mystery, as if it was forgotten to time or rather written out of history. With what is known about Ganondorf's character and ambitions, I'm pretty sure that he will not appreciate that his legacy would be covered up, or completely forgotten. Although sophisticated and cultured, Ganondorf is famous for his rage, while equally known to covet in displaying his power. These two are dangerous qualities to be combined, and this crime against his history may be met with Ganondorf angrily exerting his power over Hyrule and its people upon his return in a very cruel and unforgiving way, so that they would be reminded of who he is and why they must fear and revere him.
What makes this possibility all that more terrifying, more so than any other Zelda to date, is due to the state of Hyrule that Ganondorf is returning to this time around. Thanks to his calamity, Hyrule is on its knees, truly at its weakest. There is no kingdom, there is no central governing force, the tribes and cities are scattered, and Hyrule itself lacks a stable military, with the only true remaining force still loyal to the crown being the Sheikah, and even then their numbers are splintered between the main clan and that of the Yiga clan. With the land of Hyrule still in ruins, Ganondorf's rise to power in a physical and monarchical sense will be unmatched. Sure, the extent of his strength upon his return may be in question, but he has many other strengths and skills he is known for that he can make use of easily in this time of chaos. One of those talents is his silver tongue. Ganondorf's egotistical power of persuasion and manipulation are infamous in the Zelda series, and with the kingdom of Hyrule and her king out of the picture, Ganondorf is primed to slide into the sights of all the tribes when they too may be at their weakest due to the lingering effects still felt by the calamity.
Ganondorf had followers that were extremely loyal to him in the past. As shown in the trailer, the markings of the walls show the evil king with his hordes as he rode on horseback with the trident in his hand. Whether or not if those are his Gerudo people following him, or those that share his beliefs that he swayed to his cause is still unknown. And while speaking on the notion of tribes in the Gerudo,
more than likely, Ganondorf would target his familiar land, the desert he once called home, the domain of the Gerudo, as his first stop on his quest to rebuild his destiny. Given his history with his own tribe, his birthright, and revealed intention from the Wind Waker, assuredly Ganondorf would have little issue in swaying members of the tribe to join his ranks, especially given how the ancient rule of his culture grants him the throne as his birthright. With that known in record, and with Ganondorf returning in the flesh, there will more than likely be some sort of dissension within the tribe on who is deserving and fit to rule. This along with the fact that the current ruler of the Gerudo tribe, Riju, is still a child. It is truly unknown who will side with who, especially if Ganondorf were to try to take back his throne by force. But then again, as Riju is a child, I would expect that she may be impressionable to some degree and may even be swayed by Ganondorf's words. Either way, I do expect that to some degree, various members of the Gerudo tribe will fall in line with aligning themselves with the ancient king, especially with the promise of a more stable and beautiful land instead of that dwells within the harsh desert. And if Riju were to be swayed by Ganondorf, then that would easily lead to two outcomes in the evil king's favor. One would be complete control of the tribe. Two would be destabilization of the tribe that he can use to his advantage in germinating that aspect into other tribes. We will touch upon that later.
While the fate of the Gerudo would surely be something that would be up to contention in Breath of the Wild 2, something that must not be forgotten is the existence of the Yiga tribe, the clan of former Sheikah that defected after the harsh treatment of the royal family of Hyrule, who swore allegiance with Ganon. Isn't it interesting that the Yiga clan set their base of operations within Gerudo Desert? It is almost as if that thanks to the knowledge of the long history of Hyrule, the Yiga would try to appease the new god Ganon by trying to replicate or replace his familiar clan, the Gerudo, by residing and perhaps attempting to control the desert, believing in his eventual return. It is almost as if they know he will appear to them in time in this land before he does anything else.
And now that the Demon King is set to return in the flesh for the first time in eons, that is not an exaggeration by the way, the Yiga will have a new, powerful, knowledgeable leader that not only will make great use of their numbers, but they will also be an extremely valuable asset to Ganondorf, as they will be able to share tons of secret Sheikah knowledge concerning Hyrule, the royal family, the gods, technology, and techniques. With their knowledge and army under his command, Ganondorf would be an insanely terrifying enemy to the vast land of Hyrule, which leads to a more terrifying snowball effect.
The other tribes of Hyrule, while stable on their own, lack a true governing force to unite them thanks to the fall of the kingdom, and with Ganondorf returning along with the Yiga tribe ready to serve him, these other tribes and their leaders are insanely vulnerable to his advances. Hyrule in itself lacks any stable military, so any hostile takeovers of an individual tribe or region will be met with very little resistance. However, instead of a purely aggressive strategy, remember what we said earlier about the potential destabilization of the Gerudo tribe early on in the game.
That issue could have a ripple effect that will be felt by other observing tribes and clans, as Ganondorf's actions with the Gerudo and the Yiga will force the hand of other factions to take some sort of action, and whatever action it may be, it will be one with a lack of preparation, and without a unifying government to oversee and keep their choices in line for the greater benefit of all of Hyrule, there will undoubtedly be dissension within and between the tribes when faced with the threat of Ganondorf. Some may consider war, some may consider fortification, some may even consider subjugation as a means for survival of their people. And with this crazed state of the people in each area of importance, Ganondorf can easily move in and take over each piece of Hyrule however he sees fit, whether it be convincing them with the promise of something great, the threat of violence, or just actual violence. Ganondorf will be met with little resistance.
Of course, the hero Link and the Princess Zelda along with the remaining Sheikah will be positioned with an attempt to stop Ganondorf. There will be too much chaos within the land of Hyrule for them to get any footing. Combine this with the fact that this incarnation of Zelda is completely incapable to lead others. She will be facing off against a man whose ability to lead is legend along with his own existence.
Link is really going to have his work cut out for him, which can lead to interesting ideas in terms of gameplay within Breath of the Wild 2, such as army building, recruitment, and perhaps war management. And of course, the giant elephant in the room is how exactly did Ganondorf get in this state as we see him in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. There are a ton of theories out there on this particular predicament. However, for the sake of the subject of this video, I'm going to play around with an idea that somehow, in some way, Ganondorf was sold out by his own people at some point in the history during that of ancient Hyrule.
The imagery on the wall with the hand and what he may have looked like in his prime could certainly suggest that there was some sort of betrayal on his hand. I feel the idea of the Gerudo King being sold out by his own people for the greater good is a huge possibility, but could have lasting effects on his mind that he could use to his advantage to twist and dissuade the people of Hyrule into two categories: those that can and those who cannot be trusted.
Given that the ancient Gerudo could have had a hand in this seal, I also feel that others more than likely helped out, such as the royal family and perhaps the Sheikah, assisted in sealing Ganondorf and writing how they did it out of public history. But as he is still alive, after countless years of this seal, Ganondorf would have full knowledge of these dark deeds committed by these particular factions that he can use to expose to the world of Hyrule and to the people of the land. Their concept, views, and ideas of these certain other people within Hyrule could be challenged, and amongst that confusion, these minds would be easy prey for Ganondorf's silver tongue and will allow maybe even more followers to rally to his deceitful cause of being king over the land once more. We've seen the capacity of this idea working within Ocarina of Time after the time skip, so it isn't out of the question for Ganondorf to rise up, take advantage of Hyrule at its absolute weakest, and rebuild the kingdom once again in his own image. I hope this got you guys excited, because this will definitely be exciting times when Breath of the Wild 2 releases. Ganondorf's return and the implications of his return will be felt stronger than any other Zelda game up until now. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to HMK for more Zelda content every week. Be sure to check out my brother Conrad's channel over at Commonwealth Realm. He's got a video over there dealing specifically with Ganondorf, the Yiga, and the Gerudo. Big thanks once again to my Patreon supporters for help making this video happen. If you want to find out how you can support HMK for just $1 a month, please check out my Patreon. Alright guys, so until the next Zelda video, this has been HMK, and I will check you guys later.